George's Marvellous Medicine, chapter 14. They've tried a few different medicines, it's all gone wrong. I wonder what you thought, whether you made any good predictions. So now it's time to find out how good your predictions were. And it's called Marvellous Medicine, number 4. Back in the kitchen once again, George, with Mr. Cranky watching him anxiously, tipped half a pint of engine oil and some antifreeze into the giant saucepan. "Boil it up again!" cried Mr. Cranky. "Boil it and stir it." George boiled it and stirred it. "You'll never get it right," said Mrs. Cranky. "Don't forget, you just don't have exactly the same things. You've got to have exactly the same amounts of them. And how can you possibly do that?" "You keep out of this!" cried Mr. Cranky. "We're doing fine. We've got it this time. You see if we haven't." This was George's Marvellous Medicine, number 4. And when it had boiled for a couple of minutes, George once again carried a cupful of it out into the yard. Mr. Cranky ran after him. Mrs. Cranky followed more slowly. "You're going to have some mighty funny chickens around here if you carry on like this," she said. "Dish it out, George," cried Mr. Cranky. "Give a spoonful of it to that one over there." He pointed to a brown hen. George knelt down and held out the spoon with the new medicine in it. "Chick, chick," he said. "Come try some of this." The brown hen walked over and looked at the spoon. Then it went peck. "Ouch!" it said. Then a funny whistling noise came out of its beak. "Watch it grow!" shouted Mr. Cranky. "Don't be too sure," said Mrs. Cranky. "Why is it whistling like that?" "Keep quiet, woman!" cried Mr. Cranky. "Give it a chance." They stood there, staring at the brown hen. It's getting smaller," George said. "Look at it, Dad, it's shrinking." And indeed it was. In less than a minute, the hen had shrunk so much it was no bigger than a new hatched chick. It looked ridiculous. So there's the tiny hen, even smaller than a newly hatched chick. And it was a short chapter, but that is the end of chapter 14. And we've only got one chapter left. And I'm actually going to tell you what it's called. So again, you can work on your predicting skills and think about maybe what's going to happen next using all the clues. And the final chapter is called Goodbye, Grandma. So have a think.